Hello everyone. We are studying the surface chemistry, which is one of the chapter under the physical chemistry of SY BSc course paper first. So in the surface chemistry, we have studied the different types of the theories at Freundlich adsorption, then Langmuir adsorption, BET theory, etc. So now we are going to study the next point. In this case, it is the adsorption isobars. So we know that the adsorption isotherm we have studied, in which temperature is kept constant and pressure is varied in the process of the adsorption. So accordingly, the effect of the pressure, it is studied with the adsorption, but in case of the adsorption isobars, the pressure is kept constant and the effect of the temperature is studied with the process of the adsorption. These are called as the adsorption isobars. So in this case, we know that two different types of the adsorption are present, physical adsorption and the chemical adsorption. So we are going to study what is the effect of this temperature on the adsorption process. So in this process, we are keeping the pressure constant and we are changing the temperature for the process of the adsorption. Now let us see the adsorption isobar. So these adsorption isobars are studied in case of the graph by graphical method. So we know that according to Freundlich adsorption isotherm, we are getting the x upon m is equals to p raised to 1 upon n into k. So this equation can be put into graph. So if we plot the graph of x upon m versus temperature in case of the isobars, so in this case we are keeping the pressure constant. So we have studied the isotherm, in which we have kept the temperature constant and we have plotted the graph, but in this case we are keeping the pressure constant and we are varying the temperature. So for the physical adsorption, it is observed that as the temperature rises, the process of the adsorption goes on decreasing. So adsorption goes on decreasing. Here we can see from this graph, the x upon m value will goes on decreasing with the increasing temperature. So in this case, we can say that as the temperature increases, adsorption process goes on decreasing. Now when we study the chemical adsorption, so in that case, if we change the temperature, x upon m value, it is plotted against the temperature. So when we change the temperature and keeping the pressure constant, in such case, in the chemical adsorption, we know that it is exothermic process. So what happens when we consider the change in the temperature here? So as the temperature rises up to certain value, the adsorption will increases. So up to optimum value or the certain intermediate temperature, adsorption process goes on increasing. But if we increase the temperature to higher value, then it is observed that the adsorption process again decreases. So this is happening due to the exothermic process. In the chemical adsorption, certain amount of the energy is required for the molecule, which is activation energy for the formation of the bond. So activation energy is provided by the temperature. So this is the reason why as we increase the temperature initially, then the adsorption process goes on increasing slowly here up to a certain limit. So up to this limit, we are getting the maximum adsorption. Further, if we increase the temperature, then what happens? Bonds will goes on breaking, or adsorption, though there is no more adsorption process occur, and therefore the adsorption process goes on decreasing. So this is the explanation for the adsorption isotherm. So these are the different points or topics under the surface chemistry we have studied. Now the last point from this chapter, it is the application of the adsorption. Now we know that adsorption process is very useful in determination of the surface area, then chemical binding, then the extent of the adsorption can be studied by different theories. Now these having different types of the applications. So first application given is the catalysis. So we know that in catalysis we are using the solid surface and the gas, most of the gas molecule will get adsorbed on the solid surface. On that solid surface reaction takes place. So generally 4 steps are involved in the catalysis, where the gas molecules react with each other and converted into product on the solid surface. It is called as the heterogeneous catalysis. Now in this catalysis step first, or the stage first, is the adsorption of the gas molecule on solid surface. So first step involves the adsorption of the gas molecules, which are slowly approaches the solid surface and they will get bind. This is the first stage. Secondly, after adsorption, then activated complex is formed. So due to this formation of the bonding, in second step, activated complex is formed on the solid surface. This process can be shown as so here in the second step what happens? In these two adsorbed gas molecule will form, react, approaches each other and the activated complex is formed. And according to transition state theory, we know that the product must be formed via the activated complex. So this is the second step. Now in the third step, what happens? The products are formed, that is reaction is gone to completed and products are formed, that is C and D. These are the products which are formed from the A and B. So this is the third step. So product is formed and in the last step, desorption of these product gas molecules or the product molecules from the solid surface area takes place. So this is the fourth step. This is first, second, third and fourth. So these 4 steps are involved in the catalysis process. So catalysis will increases, or the use of the solid surface area or the adsorption process will very useful in initiating the rate of reaction or fastens the rate of reaction. So different types of the heterogeneous reactions can be carried out by using this adsorption process. Second application is the purification of the water. We know that in the ancient period the activated or charcoal is used to purify the water. We know that the water contains different types of the soluble impurities and insoluble impurities. So insoluble impurities are generally the organic matter or different types of the waste or the plants and animal waste. So these solid insoluble impurities can be easily removed from the water by simply filtration process, but the soluble impurities, these cannot be removed easily. For example, sodium, calcium, magnesium, sulfate ions, these types of the different types of the ions which are present in the water in the soluble form, they can be removed by treatment with the activated charcoal or the animal charcoal. So in this case we are using the closed pack column of the charcoal, over which the water which is to be purified, it is allowed to pass through, and then the soluble impurities will get adsorbed on this charcoal, so they can be easily removed. So this is very important method for the purification of the water. Third is the production of the high vacuum. We know that the gas molecule easily get adsorbed on the solid surface. Now in this case, in order to form the vacuum, if some gas molecules are still present in the particular area, where vacuum is to be generated. So by using the pressure, we can remove all the gas molecule air present in the corresponding container, and the remaining small trace amount of the gases, if they are present, if we apply the particular reactive surface area or we use the particular adsorbent material there, then this gas molecule will get easily adsorbed, get attached on the surface area, and high vacuum is created. So this high vacuum can be created by this adsorption method. Then fourth one is the chromatography. We know that the chromatography, it is adsorption technique. So in this technique, different types of the methods are explained, but we are going to consider in the short. In this case, the adsorbent material is there, adsorbent surface area is there given, or the pack column is there on which the adsorbent material it is coated, and over which mobile phase is allowed to pass through. This mobile phase contains the mixture of the sample, and according to polarity which is present in the sample or the mixture, the solid surface area or the adsorbent material, it is polar in nature. So, or that is reactive in nature, it will bind the particular ions or the particular compounds, so that this binding, this property of the binding or the adsorption coefficient, it is different for the different types of the compounds. So this adsorbent material bind differently or at the different rate to the different adsorbate material or the compound. So after elution, we are getting the separate compounds due to this adsorption coefficient. So this adsorption process is very useful in the separation of the mixture or different types of the compounds in the column chromatography, especially column chromatography, or on the different other techniques like ion exchange chromatography, then thin layer chromatography, paper chromatography, etc. So different types of the methods are based on this adsorption technique. Then next is the adsorption indicator. So we know that we have studied the precipitation titration in which silver nitrate compound it is treated with the sodium chloride, so we are getting the silver chloride solution. So in this precipitation titration, bromocresol blue, it is used as the adsorption indicator. So different types of the indicators which plays the important role, they are showing the adsorption technique, and thereby they will shows the end point for the titration in case of the precipitation titration. So we can complete the reaction by using the adsorption indicators. Next is the determination of the surface area. So we know that the particular amount of the adsorbate material only get adsorbed on the adsorbent, and due to this specific nature of the adsorbent, so we can determine the particular area of the adsorbent material. So how much amount of the adsorption takes place by using different types of the formula like x upon m equals to k into p raised to 1 upon n, which is given by the Freundlich adsorption isotherm. So by using different types of the formulae, we have used the different theories. From that, the amount of the adsorption can be determined and corresponding surface area can be determined. For example, if we consider the acetic acid and charcoal, so in this case what happens? This charcoal will adsorb some amount of the acetic acid solution. So when we filter this solution, then what happens? The concentration of the acetic acid is found to be decreased. So how much amount of the concentration is decreased, depending upon that we can determine the exact concentration of the solution. So there are number of applications are given for this adsorption process. So this adsorption process is found to be very useful in different types of the area, and other applications are also given, like charcoal is used as the adsorber material for the different processes in the industry in order to remove the unwanted impurities or colored impurities, and many other applications are given. So this is the end of our second chapter from the physical chemistry. So we have completed the first section. In the next lecture, we will start the last chapter from the second section, analytical chemistry, that is error in the data analysis. So we will stop here now. Thank you.